Wolf, it largely is believed that size is going to make a big difference here. This is one of the first bombs dropped by the United States at the end of World War II. It was called Little Boy, that was the nickname, but it was huge. Look at that, 4+ tons of weight that had to be dropped there. This is the challenge that is facing the North Koreans. We largely believe that if they have developed a nuclear weapon, up to this point we've thought, it's probably a crude one like this, and it will weigh a lot. And this is the big challenge, because the Musadon missile, for example, the one we're talking about right now on their east coast there, only has a payload of about 2.5 tons, so it simply cannot carry one of these nuclear weapons. The challenge then becomes somehow making it smaller. So let's talk a little bit about the nature, the architecture of nuclear weapons and how they would do that. The core of a nuclear bomb, like that one we talked about in World War II, is not very big, about the size of a shot put maybe here, maybe 10 to 15 pounds of plutonium, something like that. But to make it blow up, what you have to do is compress it suddenly and powerfully. That's what starts a reaction. And you do that by surrounding it with high explosives, which are inside a container. Now, this is nothing that's not on the internet. Everybody knows this. Certainly the North Koreans know it, so we're not giving away any secrets. So when you make something this big, this is where all the weight comes, not from the nuclear material, but from everything else. So if you want to make it smaller, you have to improve the efficiency of this material. You might do that by putting better igniters all around here so that all of this material goes off at precisely the same moment, blasting inward and producing your explosion. If you do that really, really well, then you may not need so much out here. You might do it by hardening this better so that it contains the blast and gets more power going in all at once. That would also allow you to use less material out here. And there's one other option out here which is often considered, which is that you can actually make the air pocket between this and the core bigger so this gets a running start at it and hits it. If you do all of this right, you do wind up with a small nuke, smaller than before, and that would weigh under 2,200 pounds, and that, Wolf, could be carried by one of their missiles.
So far, Tom, their nuclear tests have produced relatively small explosions. Here's the question. Doesn't that suggest they're having some problems with even basic nuclear technology?
You know, a lot of us have thought that, Wolf, but now one idea that's been raised by a researcher I talked to today was maybe what they've been trying to do all along is to make a small nuke, which would have a smaller explosion, because they might say, we don't have the capability of carrying something really heavy anywhere. We need to start with something small and more efficient. And here's the trick of all of that. To do that, you need expertise. We had to develop that all on our own. The Russians developed it all on their own. But now that information is out there. So the question is, to what degree is North Korea getting expertise and guidance from places like Iran and Russia, where they have a lot more information, a lot more experience, and a lot more scientists who have done this before? If they're getting enough information, that could spur concerns that they may be further down this road to that very process I just described, Wolf, and they might, in fact, be able to have a small nuke on top of a missile going somewhere, not to the United States at this point, but somewhere and toward a target.